Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging.
What's up guys and happy holidays. Welcome to another Frog Food. Today we are drawing this elf. She's like a special ops secret agent. For this project we're using an iPad Pro, Apple Pencil, and Procreate. Now let's get started. So I'm just gonna figure out what I want the pose to look like. It's gonna be her with like arms crossed and kind of like 3/4. And I'm gonna guess what she's doing. Arms crossed, 3/4, and you're not even gonna see like her back at all because the arms are gonna cover it up. And then we have like here, because their legs are gonna be apart, and gonna like go like that. And then we have shoe here, like that a little bit, and then shoe here like this. Now we'll start with the actual sketch. So we start off with the head, which is just a circle, and we're more of an egg, to be honest. And then we have a neck, and then, well, neck is like all the way back here. Neck, and then neck here, and shoulders gonna go like that. But I know what the clothes look like, and usually you would figure out the body and then figure out the clothes. But since I already know what the clothes look like, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the clothes. So we have this shape here because she has like a, I don't know what it's called, a collar. And then you have her arms come out like this, and shoulders are actually covered up, which is why it's kind of hard for me to like break it all up because it did so well ago. So yeah, we're doing arms crossed, elbow there, and then there's also an elbow here. So we'll figure the hands out later. And then we have her waist right here, where her waist is gonna be. And then in like the intersection between this arm and this arm is where the other side of her waist is. Yeah. That has to be, ask me how I know that. That's just what we're gonna do. So this is gonna be like the bottom of the coat here. Yeah, that's good. Bottom of the coat there. And then we have like, I think these are shirts or something. And then we have pants here, and other side of the pants. One side of the pants is going to be straighter, and the other side of the pants is not going to be as straight because 3/4 cut and all that. And it's going to be go down here, and we have that crease to where like the separation of her legs are, and then we have to bunch up all of the pants here. Yeah, and we have to do that on the other side as well. I think that's kind of right. Now, since we're running out of space, I have to shrink her down. Yeah, and I'll probably short this out too, because like it's just not supposed to be that wide, I don't think. But yeah, I think it's just like that and like that. Okay, well, we'll use that right there. And we have the boot here. Too thick. We have the boot right here. And all these three things are gonna be fur, and they're all the same like texture, if you will. So we're not gonna have to like sort that out until we're shading. And so we have boots. I keep forgetting to do shapes. Do shapes, because boots are like, you know, rectangles, and then we'll just connect that with like a foot sort of shape. And then I need to shrink her again. Her legs are really long. Okay. And then this shape, this rectangle is like, that's the foot there, and this is the other part of the foot, and this is gonna be the heel, and then you do this. Just connecting that all together. Like as so. Yeah. See, shapes help a lot. I don't know why I don't do shapes more. Okay. And then we have like boot details and things like that. Here is the other boot that we're just gonna sort out like this. And just following these like lines that we created before. And it's like way too, like the length difference is just insane. So I don't know, what are we gonna do here? I think I think I need to like make this physically smaller. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think I need to do that. And then make her legs shorter, like overall. And let me enlarge it now to see. These proportions are like wild. I don't know what happened. Oh, her top half is like way smaller than her bottom half. That is also happening, so let's fix that. No, that doesn't look right. Okay. Let's do this. And then make that bigger. And this is like her pants here. Now the pants, that looks better, I think. And we'll add this bit here. The beauty of digital art is that you can just resize things as you go along with minimal effort. So I'm using this lasso tool to basically clip things out or select things out, and then you press the arrow and you can just like resize them. You can use freeform to like stretch them. You can use distort to change the perspective of things, which is really neat. I like using that one. And then warp warps it. So that's what I'm doing when I'm correcting proportions. Now I'm gonna make this smaller because we have to give her her candy cane. I don't know what we're gonna call it, but if you want to give it a name in the comments of what you think this thing should be called. It's gonna be a massive, like the way that people put like swords on their back and stuff, but it's a candy cane instead. And we have to make it so that it seems like it's bigger in the front, like near camera in the front and farther away from camera in the back. So that's why we add a circle here and make it like a cone. That's gonna make it seem like it's like farther away. And that's pretty much it. I just did that in like 2 seconds. So yeah, that's what that is. Now let's clean this up. Alright, this looks so much better. Quick note, the reason why this leg looked so weird before was because I didn't bend it. So when you're standing like this, your leg isn't going to be straight like that. I mean, it might, but it probably won't. It might more likely be bent like this, especially if you have, what's going on? Especially if you have your foot like forward like this, your leg is probably going to be bent a little bit. And so as you can see here, it goes like that, and then it goes like this, and not just straight. So that was the issue there, but now it's fixed. So, okay, let's add some hair. And touch up the hands. Now it's time for line art. The focal point of this piece is the clothing, all those little lines and details, so let's get into that. Let's get ourselves another layer and turn the opacity down like a ton on the rough sketch. I'm gonna be doing this in like a dark blue, I guess, because I don't feel like doing it black. So let's get our line art brush. I'm using this one I customized. It just is a normal like technical pen with the opacity sensitivity to pressure. So yeah. So let's start off with this jacket. I'm gonna have my opacity down like a little bit here, 77%, so we can like add these like check mark things now. And I'll have the size down to the point where it's not too big when I add pressure, but not too small either. I think that's good. Yeah. And so that is gonna be 3% there. So yeah. Erase. Okay. So here we have like the fur of the jacket, and we're just gonna make this a line thicker than like normal because it is on the outside of the clothing. And I'm literally just gonna follow the shapes of the rough sketch because this is fur and fur is unpredictable. But we also don't want to have any of these blank spaces here because I would just literally do that when I was rough sketching it. But now we have to connect it. So add this here. And literally to connect it, you just do more lines. Like this. Make it a little uneven. Maybe not so spiky like that, but we'll do it like this. On the other side, we have the same thing. This. And we also can check back and forth, which I do a lot, to make sure that everything looks okay and clean and whatnot. And we'll add, maybe not that. We'll add more of these, fur things to make it look like fur. And here, because it's going like folding, it's gonna fold like that. It's not gonna fold like this, So because this part is bigger than this bit here, so it'll fold like that. And we'll just connect here. Yeah. We'll leave it at that. And here we have, so inside of this portion though, the lines are going to be a little lighter than we did on the outside. That's just how I like to do things. So not too much lighter, but I'm not adding as much pressure as I did. So as you can see, they're going to be a little less like, opaque. So we're just going to do this all the way around. You can add this here, but I don't think I did, so I'm not going to do that. And there. So this is the fur collar, and of course we'll do all this stuff later, but since we're just focusing on the clothes, we'll just like assume that line art is already done. I'm not even gonna do the neck, to be honest with you. So we have this medallion here, and unfortunately you have to remember to connect the fur to the medallion if that's what's happening. So we're just gonna add, I guess, a thing that will connect the medallion to the fur, and then I'll probably, a little thinner line. That's a lot thinner of a line. Let's not even do that. Okay, so we'll just draw lighter, and we'll just try and follow the shape. That's why it's so important to have all your proportions and perspective and stuff sorted out before you do line art, because when you're doing line art, you're kind of just gonna I just focus on the quality of the lines, and I don't focus on anything else really. So yeah, and I'll sort out the hand later because it literally looks like claws right now, so we'll deal with that in a second. I have to do that here in this jacket section too. So yeah, since we're on the outside of this jacket, we're just following those lines down, following these lines down. Because this is going inside of this like fur belt, you're gonna add a line like this to show that it's now inside. Actually make it thinner or like less opaque, because we do have to shade that too. So yeah, on the outside here, just adding that fur belt around the edges. Try not to make it too like complicated, because we're gonna have to shade it, and when you're shading fur, you kind of have to follow the outside line for your shadow. So, and I did that wrong. Yeah, we don't want that to happen here. We want it to be like this is meeting there. Oh, whoops. This is gonna meet here, and we don't want it to do that, so gotta erase that bit. And then adding some more fur detail, like so. Okay, and because we have more, do we have more fur there? Nope, that's the shoulder. So the shoulder should do this because it's going inside of the fur, and then we'll just add her shoulder. And I had to check for, because here we have creases in her elbow because that's where her arm's bending. So, and I think I did add creases here too. So you have to connect these creases like this, so they don't look like pointless and out of place, and like that, I think. So yeah, really it's just where it creases. You don't want to add like random creases here. I mean, you can, but like I wouldn't, because I'm just not that experienced with creases. I'm still trying to get better at clothing. So we do have these hands, and because we're drawing the jacket, we kind of also have to draw the hands. So I guess that's what we're doing. We have the, backside of the hand, and then finger goes up here, and just, well, it's weird. Finger goes up here, and it's kind of doing that around the arm, and then it goes back down, and then we have like the other finger doing something here, and they're both like kind of curving around the entire arm there. Well, because there's two fingers here, so it's gonna do this. I think, yeah, that should be okay. That should be okay. I probably should have did more detail on the hand rough sketch, but I didn't. So that's why we're making up for that here. And then we have the crease in the fabric for the arm, and that'll help us not have to like do so much with the hands, because creases do take up a lot of space. And oh no, we have an elbow. You don't want to make things too bumpy because then it'll look weird. So we have an elbow there, and arm, and then this is a sleeve here because another hand. And I think I have more creases here because there's another bend. So yeah, you have to follow the arm is curving around here, and this is where the arm stops. So this is where the crease should start here. And then I'm pretty sure it goes out and then out, and then you can just go like that there, and like this. Oh no, like this and there. That should be okay. And we'll just, oh yeah, so you can do this. I think you can do that where it's like, you know, that's where the arm goes into the rest of the body, you know, and that does work. But because I am doing a ton with like all these creases and things, I'm gonna do it this way and add another crease here, and then have that go down, and that also works. It just adds a little more detail. Hopefully it doesn't look out of place, because when you're doing all of these creases, it can get out of place very quickly. We're adding another bit here where the arm is connecting to the rest of the body again, and you can add another crease there because you can, but I'm choosing not to for the sake of time. So here we have the palm, and this hand is a little bit harder just because there's like more of it. Whenever you have more of the hand can be a little more complicated. So we have to make sure to maintain that sleeve there and bring that around here and like maintain an arm shape so it doesn't turn into like a noodle or something, because that can happen. And we'll just connect these lines, and I think I want to do that here, maybe. No, not that, but that does work though. Yeah, that does work. So yeah, and we'll have this arm here. I think this needs to go out more, and then because this is an elbow, so, and then we'll do that. Yeah, and then we will add a zipper, and obviously you can see I'm trying to procrastinate with that hand. I'll add the zipper in the meantime, and we also have this like strap because she has something, you know, strapped to her back, so we need to make sure that that's still there, and we also need to continue the strap here like this. Oh no, make sure that you're erasing when you're trying to erase. Yeah, strap there, and checking if that looks okay. It does. Okay, and then we just have this hand. This is the last thing. This is the last thing we need to do. Okay, finger, and then it bends, and then it goes around here, and then we'll do this like that, and then we have the other part of the finger bending, and goes like this down, and we might just connect them here and have this one do that. And then like this. And then, yeah. That should be okay, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, this totally looks like a jacket, right? So let's just add a little more details. Like all the rest of the line art. As you can see, all the rest of the line art is done. We just maintain the same technique we use here, where you're just following the lines of your rough sketch. And now it's time to color. A good idea is to figure out your color palette before you even start coloring. So that's what we're gonna do. Since I know that it's a festive sort of holiday style project, I'm gonna go with your traditional red, green, yellow, well, I guess like more like gold, and what's the other color? White, I think. Yeah, so we have red and green, standard holiday colors. We have this white color, and it's an off-white because since we're doing it on a white canvas, like, you don't want to make the white, you know what I mean? So, and we have this yellow color, which might look odd now, but if it was like gold, then it would make sense. So I guess I should make it like this, really. And that makes way more sense. So yeah, that's our color palette. Let's start with the skin tone. My character is going to be like a cool tan color. So let's just color this in. It doesn't have to be good at all because this is like the, well, yeah, this is like the bottom of the layers. So you're going to color everything else on top of it. So you really can just kind of like mess around with this one. Just make sure not to get it like over here where you like, you know, on the outside of the outermost line. You want to make sure it's still in there, but you can literally just do this to get this color in there. It's faster and requires less precision. So now let's color our clothes. We have to make sure not to, you know, get the hands now. And, you know, follow the lines. Don't color in with the red if you don't want to be red. We added red for the clothes, white for the fur and that, gold for like embellishments, and brown for straps and a bag. So now let's start shading. For shading, I picked a darker red, and I'm also on a multiply layer. So let's get this going. We're gonna start with the knee, and since I know the light is coming this way, well, we can't do that because I'm on a clip layer too. But since we know the light is coming this way, most of the shading is gonna be like, you know, over here. So we also have all these folds we have to think about. So I'm trying my best to make it look natural. This is gonna be in like the sun, but this isn't. So, and this also is a curve, and how did I get there? Okay, this also is in a curve, like it's curving around, so half of that is going to be more shaded than the other one, and then this is going to do that because it's a fold. And then we want the other side not to be as shaded in the fold because we want to show that it has been folded. So yeah, we'll do that bit, and then on the inside of this fold, though, we are going to color on the inside because the sun is right there, and it's not going to be like that. Probably not, you know? So, yes, we're going to do this bit here, too, because a lot of this is trial and error. You just, like, messing around and seeing, like, what looks natural and what doesn't, especially when you don't have a reference. If I was using a reference, like, that I was just, like, going to take the clothes from, it would be so much easier. So much easier. But since we're trying to do stuff off the top of our head, we have to, you know, troubleshoot a lot more. So yeah, we're just gonna focus on this below the knee section, and you know, a trick you can do is literally just like get the brush and like a huge size, and then just put in where you think you want shades to go, like that. Yeah, so now that we have those lines figured out, we also can do this. Because just because the light's coming from a direction doesn't mean that there's not going to be like folds inside of the fabric on the other side, you know what I mean? So there's not going to be as many folds. So we do have to maintain that. And we're also going to add this because this is kind of like funneling down here. So yeah, I'm rationalizing it after I figured it out. And that's the thing, when you're drawing it, you're not going to know like, oh, it's funneling down, so let me do that. You're probably not going to think about that. You're probably just going to be adding colors and then seeing what works and what doesn't. but this rationalizing it afterward is a good, you know, technique for you to do to figure out how to do it easier later, because you'll know like how things work. And that's really what drawing is about, just knowing how things work and then why they look the way they do, you know. So yeah, we're adding the dark bits here. It's a lot easier to go in with like, you know, just straight off dark, because for sometimes I will think to like build it up, but that takes forever. So you don't want to do that. You want to just go in with the darker color. And the thing is, it's a bit scarier because it's like dark feels permanent, but the thing about digital art is nothing is ever permanent. So you're perfectly fine. You can always use the undo button. So yeah, we're just gonna do this here and add in something like that, and then continue that. No, shadow there. If I can ever get my smudge tool. And we're gonna continue the shadow there and add it like this. Yeah, like that. And yeah, just so. I also turn the opacity down and I'll carve out some of my shadows. I don't know if that makes it look more real or anything, but, and it does make it look cool, so we'll just like, that matters more than realism, right? So yeah, we're gonna shade in a little bit. I do like the kind of non-shaded, like messy look, but you don't want it to look too messy. We want it to look kind of like I meant for things to happen. So we're also gonna add, kind of cut off the shadow here, like around here. So it's being cut off like that here. And then we're gonna make that darker right there. So it makes it seem like the leg is like really like, you know, behind the light there for whatever reason. Maybe her leg's bending, maybe something else has happened with the light. Not sure, but you know, that's what we're going to do. So yeah, and I might continue this bit here just for the sake of like visuals for the moment. It helps to continue the vibe. And yeah, we're also going to do this up here. So that should be all our dark colors that we really need. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just trying to like continue this. It also, like, you know, sometimes you continue the dark colors on the outside because it just gives it more shape. Makes it seem a little more shaded. And it's okay that everything isn't perfect. So now you can just take some time to fine tune it. Everything has been shaded, and let's add the good stuff, the lighting effects. You're gonna get an add layer below your line art, like this add, and the color white, and just go and add some light along the edge of your thing. I'm gonna use the pans because it's what we just shaded, and you're just gonna add it in sort of like the folds. Just try and follow the general shape. I am covering up some shadows, but that's gonna be okay because, you know, who cares? So I'm gonna add some triangles here along this bit there. I think that's not okay. Let's do that. Okay, do this. And we're gonna do this here, add that triangle there, have it go here as well. Kind of trying to like connect everything together. We have it here too. Someone's phone is going off in the background. We have this bit, and we'll just add that crease all around too. We can shade it in a little bit just to add a little more, you know, naturalness, of course. And shading these in. The cool thing about add layers is if you shade in the white, it's gonna add like this add this like cool color thing around the edge, because it's like, you know, adjusting, I think. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, this is what we're doing. And we're shading it in a little bit. And that is basically it. That's all you really need. You add some around the arms too. Like here. Like this. And that's it. Our little special ops elf is complete. This is the full body here, cool shadow, effects, candy cane, staff, the works. This is the newest addition to our paper dolls collection. This one is different from the other paper dolls because it comes already dressed. The line art will be available to download for free at our blog, myfroggystuff.blogspot.com, where you can have fun coloring it in your own style. Thank you for joining us while we drew our special ops elf for the holidays. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at myfroggystuff and the frog vlog, and follow me on Instagram at Bella of myfroggystuff, and we'll see you next time. Bye!